So what I would normally do, now if you click on manage members again, you should see all the members that are in the shared drive, right? I would actually remove my account personally, but for now, this one is actually the admin. You're not signed in as Milan, you're actually signed in as PlayStack. So for now, we're going to leave it. We'll come back and we can fix that later. But tomorrow or when we're finished with this session, you could theoretically go back here and remove the individual member, and then only those who are members of the management group would have access to this shared drive.
Got it.
Cool. Making sense so far?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let's go back to the admin panel. Let's create the other groups. So we'll create a group for the team. Back to groups. Cool. And I would call that like PlayStack team. So this is like everyone. And I would usually do team at. Is usually the easiest there. Great. Cool. And then you do the same. So you do security. And then now I reckon maybe put in Milan as an owner. I think that's why we got a error before, because we didn't. Yep. And then restricted. Great. And then go down to only invited users and then create group. There used to be a button where you could, that is bizarre. Okay. I guess go back and just double do those settings again. That is very strange. Never seen that before.
I promise you we pay our bills.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So add members, and then you're just going to chuck in everyone. Yeah, everyone in the company. There used to be a button where you could automatically and programmatically have everyone added to this group. So like anytime you had a new user, okay, they're already a member.
I'm the owner already, so.
Yeah, you're the owner, so you're automatically. If you click where it says PlayStack team, top left, a bit further, that's the one. Yeah, cool. Now, it does take a second before it works it out. But yeah, if you click onto the members area there, where you were in the middle, yeah, it should show you all the members. Nice. Okay, great. So you've got all the members there. Yeah, you used to be able to add everyone programmatically, but I don't know where that button is anymore. So every time you onboard a new staff member, you're going to have to go and add them to this group. That's got every internal user that might need things.
Yep.
Great. Okay, cool. Let's do one more group.
Is that right?
Yep.
It's not my first language.
All right. Restricted. Yep. Nice. Oh, now you're moving too fast. Oh, look at that one.
Now it works.
Okay, that's good. So that's the one. Maybe click see group details, because we've got to go back to the settings. Thankfully, you can change this after you've created it. You can go back and change it. Access settings. So click on access settings down the bottom. Allow members outside your organization. We want to click yes. No. Down. That's the one. Yep. Now, just as a test, we'll pretend that I'm a contractor. So let's add, if you go to add members, add Peter at itgenius.com. And so I'll be your first contractor. Now, this works for Gmail accounts too. This is where you will add other additional people as well.
This one?
Yep, that's the one. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go back to Google Drive. All right. So if you go back to your shared drives, create a shared drive, and you can call it like PlayStack team. Great. And then, of course, you're going to share share that to the team. Now, we're going to give different permissions for different people here. So see there, so see you've got different options here. Depends how big your team is, and depends how strong you want to be with managing other people. Like basically, if you think your team are going to bugger up and delete stuff accidentally, you would restrict them to just the contributor role, which means they can put stuff in, but they can't move it around and they can't delete it. Typically, we would keep the ability to delete stuff just to managers. So not necessarily business owners, but just to managers. So if you want, you could then go contributor role here. It just saves one of two situations.
Well, currently it's only the managers that are using this. So
okay, great. Okay, cool. Content manager is appropriate then. Yeah. So the two and hit send, because we're going to have to do the executive one separately. The two situations where you might lose data if someone's got the ability to delete something is, number one, someone is trying to rip you off and it's malicious damage. Pretty rare, but does happen. But number two is, what's more likely is someone's just cleaning up their Google Drive and they're like, oh, I don't need this anymore. And they hit delete and nobody notices. And then 30 days later, it's gone from the trash and then it's gone. So that's why if you want to invest in a backup for Google Workspace, that's a good idea. We do recommend that. Our team can help you out with pricing on that. It's pretty reasonable. That saves you from that accidental deletion. But if you want to go back
that's why we have that separate folder. So we have a backup and we have the ongoing stuff.
Yeah, but it's not a backup if someone has the ability to delete it. It's got to be in at least two different places to actually be a true backup. Okay, so go back to the team manage members, and now we're going to add the management. And of course, we're going to give management the owner permission on this one as well. Yay, awesome, cool. Okay, so there now third one, contractors. Another shared drive. We'll set up the contractor shared drive. Now, contractors, definitely, you would never put them above the contributor access role.
Yep.
Oh, and then you probably want to put team on that one. Probably want to put team on that one too.
And now we need one for clients, no?
Well, we need one for each client, actually. So if you wanted to, now if each client of yours had multiple staff that you were working with, you may choose to create a group for each client, put all the staff in the group, put the group to the shared drive, right? Because that's the best way to be really careful about controlling access. Because what tends to happen with access is you allow access for one person and then someone else asks and you add them and someone else asks if you add them, but no one ever goes back and checks the people who've been given access in the past. But I assume most of your clients are probably solo people?
No, it's larger organizations often.
Okay. Well, you've got multiple options. You can set up a group, and you know how to set up groups. So I'll leave that choice for you to do later if you want. For now, let's add them to the shared drives directly. But we might set up a dummy client and imagine I'm the client because I don't want to share your customers' email addresses publicly and that kind of thing. Let's go to shared drives and let's create a new shared drive for your customer. And if you choose, you may want to change the view on this so you can see them a little bit easier. Yeah, if you cancel, that's fine. Yeah, you know what I mean. Let's see. All right, cool. So Peter itGenius, so manage members. So you can add me directly or you can add a group. I'm not exactly sure what the advantage would be of groups over this apart from keeping it tidy, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, you can just make me contributor. That'll do for now. Yep. And then send that one off. Cool. So probably doesn't hurt to show you what your customer experience is going to look like. I won't share my screen. An email come through. What? Where's the email? Okay.
Spam.
Or yeah, maybe went to spam. No, I can't see it.
Okay.
Well, it should show up, but where it will also show up is in Google Drive, in my shared drives. Now, here we go. Peter IT. Okay, it's right down the bottom. All right, Peter itGenius. So it's been added here. Importantly, it says files owned by PlayStack. So it's really, really obvious. It's really, really obvious here. Files are owned by PlayStack. The contractors one sits there, and down here, Peter itGenius sits here. So I've got the shared drive here available to me, which is great. And then obviously, if I want to start putting files in here, I can.
Yeah.
So, pictures. All right. Drop in a. Ta-da.
Yeah.
And there we go. It's put an image in. Now, if I want to grab something from my drive and I decide I'm going to move, I don't know, some random file. Here we go, employment contract. If I want to move that into PlayStack, it's going to pop up and say, do you want to change the ownership to the shared drive? And that's important because I will no longer be the owner of that file. The customer will be the owner. Sorry, your shared drive will be the owner of the file. Your company will be.
But you still have a copy in your own drive, right?
No.
Or is it moved?
No, it moves it. It's not a copy, it moves it. Yeah, which is what we want. This is what we want because we want the shared drive to be the source of truth. If I still had a copy in my drive and I go and change that file again, then the shared drive doesn't get the file, the copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if they also want their raw footage for themselves?
They can keep a copy. That's up to them. Yeah, that's
Okay.
up. So what that would look like, right? What that would look like is there's multiple ways to upload. They can drag and drop from their Mac, from their computer, straight in if they want, right? They can take a video file. Let's get one of my video files here, right? They can grab a file and they can drag and drop into the drive if they want, and it'll upload it there. Now that leaves the file in my local computer.
Yeah.
I'm still going to copy the local file in my computer. The other option is that I synchronize it with Google Drive on my local computer. So in my local computer, I've got Google Drive in the file browser. And so if I drag and drop it into Google Drive on my local computer, that's technically going to move it on my local computer. So they just have to be mindful. If they want to keep a copy, then they just move a copy into the shared drive. Or if they're uploading via the web, then it's only ever going to be a copy, fundamentally as well. But if I look at these individual files here, you'll see it shows me who it's shared with, but the owner, well, I don't think it actually says owner, but it just says location.
It's modified by you, yeah.
It's Peter itGenius, yeah. Yeah. So it says who's modified it, that kind of thing. But that, this is the owner. And if I'm a contractor, I now no longer have the option to delete it. I don't think I can even move it actually. Can I move that into? No, I can't even move that into raw.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's great. This is what you want, because you want customers to be able to upload stuff, but not move it, delete it, or do anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Could you also use shared drives, for example, for Google Meets recordings, that it goes straight into the right drive so that only a limited amount of people have access to that? Or if in this case, that is like a standard folder?
Yeah, look, you'd have to do that with something like Zapier to build that automation. You can't dictate where does my automatic Meet recording go. The Meet recording automatically goes into the My Drive of the organizer, which is a bit weird because sometimes like my PA will organize a meeting for me and then, it like goes in her drive instead. But yeah, you can either after a meeting, drag and drop a recording, which is a bit of a pain to do it manually. Or if you really wanted to set up an automation to do that, that would be easy. You could say, right, any meetings that go into my Drive that have X domain name in them, in the title, automatically copy that into this shared drive for this customer. That would be very easy to do. And then you just need to make sure that every time you set a meeting, you have, the correct domain name in there. So that's totally doable. Or, which is what we do. It's someone's job to organize stuff like that and keep client stuff up to date. But remember, anytime you have a meeting with someone, the recording automatically gets attached to the meeting after the meeting. So I don't know why I didn't do that this morning because I recorded it, but it should, I think, because I changed that calendar. Here we go. So I had a meeting with Roland here. After the meeting, it automatically gets attached to the calendar event. And so with one click, I can go and view it. And so anyone who had access to the meeting will automatically.
Even if you change that file location?
Yes, even if you change the location of the file, because the name of the file is still correct. So you can move the file, and the permissions are dictated by, getting a bit technical here, the permissions are dictated by the location of that file. So I can click on the file from the calendar. I can go to organize here. And
but you might not have access if it's a limit, like a locked or shared drive.
Correct. It depends on the organizer. So in this case, I was the organizer. I've got the ability to move this file. If I wasn't the organizer and I didn't have the ability to move the file, that would be different. But I know we're getting like a little bit down the rabbit hole here. You can set up a team calendar.
Yeah. And
I think the original file still goes to the person's Google Drive, but you may be able to move it. Will that help? No, it might not. we might have to test. That.
It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to go deep on that, maybe we'll save that for the next episode. But that's an option. That's an option.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. And don't miss the final part. It's linked in the description. See you there.